Hello students and welcome to history class. I know you are very eagerly waiting for chapter number 2. Before that, let me just explain to you what you have studied in your chapter 1. Dear students, as you all know, this year you are exclusively studying on Indian history. In your first PUC, you studied on world history. But this year in your second PUC history syllabus, you would be concentrating only on Indian history. Therefore, in chapter 1, you studied a brief introduction to India, where you got to know different names India has, the book which gives us the reference of the name Bharat, and you also studied regarding the impact of geography on Indian history. After that, you also studied in brief the history of Karnataka, mainly regarding the origin. After that, you passed on to a very important question of that particular chapter, that is on sources to study Indian history, where you studied the two broad kinds of sources, the archaeological sources and the literary sources. Now students, we shall move on to the next chapter. What is the title of chapter number 2? The title of chapter number 2 is Prehistoric Period. This is also called as Stone Age and Metal Age Culture. So before getting exactly to the session, I would like to give you a brief meaning of the title of the chapter, that is Prehistory. What is the meaning of prehistory or prehistoric period? Students, to understand this, first we have to understand how do we study history. On the availability of the sources, we divide history into 3 major sections or periods. The first we call as prehistoric period, the second one is proto-historic period, and the third one is historic period. So what is the meaning of prehistoric period? Prehistoric period is a time where we have no written sources. There are absolutely no evidence of any kinds of written sources available to us. And the second kind of division is proto-historic period. So students, for your kind notice, this year no questions would be asked on proto-historic period, but this I am telling you only for your information. What is proto-historic period? Proto-historic period is a time in history where we have some kind of written sources, but we are not able to make sense out of it. Maybe we are unknown with the language, or maybe because of the bad condition of the sources. So such age is called as proto-historic period. Finally, we come to historic period. Historic period is just the opposite of prehistoric period. That is a time in history where we have the written literary sources. May it be of different languages, may it be in different parts of India, but we have a particular kind of literary record that helps us to reconstruct the past. So this is regarding the prehistoric period. And as I was telling you, the title of the chapter, I also mentioned you that this particular chapter is also told to be Stone Age and Metal Age culture. Why do we call it Stone Age and Metal Age? As I go on, you will understand more about it. Now students, coming back to prehistoric culture or prehistoric period, you might get a question. In the absence of any literary sources or written sources, how are we able to trace the history of that period? Say for example, if I want to know a date of birth of a particular student, what are the authentic sources I have? I could refer to his birth certificate, I could refer to his Aadhaar card, or I may have different numbers of authentic documents that would tell me the exact date of birth of a particular student or maybe a person. So it is very easy to understand the background. But here we have a problem. What is the problem? We don't have any written sources. So how do we understand this? Today, how are we able to say that man lived during this period? How did he live? What is that information we have? And to understand this, students, we will have to first understand how was the early man. To help you out more in this video, to my left side, I also have some of the slides which would be displayed. So as you listen to my lecture, also have a little attention towards these slides. How was the early man? Going back 1 year, in your first PUC, if you remember chapter number 2, where you studied the origin of earth, where you studied the evolution of man, you have got an idea how in every phase man started to change himself. How did he get his form? And at that particular point, you have also studied how did the early man live. That is what I am going to explain to you even today. In the early time, man was a nomad. Nomad means, in Kannada we call it as alemari. He did not settle in one particular place. He kept wandering from place to place. And the only purpose of his life was food gathering. And how would he get the food? By depending on the natural resources. May it be the animals, may it be the vegetables, or it could be the roots, fruits and so on. Some of the concepts were unknown to him. One is settled life, to stay in one place, he did not know. Neither he knew the use of fire. So which is very much clear that he did not know cooking. So he consumed raw food as it was available to him. He did not take any extra effort to cook the food. So settled life, the use of fire or agriculture was rather unknown to him. Neither he had any knowledge about the modern things. In such a situation, what happened to man? In such a situation, he went on leaving the evidence wherever he stayed. And with the help of these evidence, today we are able to confidently speak on the man who lived during prehistoric period. So what are the evidences this early man left? In chapter 1, you might have studied regarding archaeological sources, and in that you might have come across some of the implements. It could also be stone implements, metal implements, paintings and other stone tools. So these are some of the things which gives us a vivid picture of the man who lived during the prehistoric period. So today how do we know this? Who was that man who gave us so lot of information? And credit goes to one of the prominent archaeologists, Robert Bruce Foote, who for the first time made a scientific study of these tools belonging to prehistoric period and helped us to make or reconstruct the past. Anyways, for your examination point of view, you have no questions on Robert Bruce Foote. So this is for your extra information. And he is also called the father of South Indian archaeology, because he was the first man to do a scientific study on the tools pertaining to prehistoric period. So students, this is the brief introduction to the chapter where I have told you the meaning of prehistoric period. Now coming exactly to the prehistoric period. Students, prehistoric period is further divided into two branches. One is the Stone Age and secondly the Metal Age. In Stone Age culture, man has passed through three ages: Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. And in Metal Age, man has once again crossed three ages. One is the Chalcolithic Age, then we have the Bronze Age and then we have the Iron Age. So now students, in prehistoric period, let us focus on the first division, that is on Stone Age culture. As the name says, it is a culture where or which is evident in the form of stone tools which are discovered during excavation. So firstly, now we shall study about the first age man underwent during the prehistoric period. What was that age? That was none other than Paleolithic Age. I repeat, Paleolithic Age. When we come to Paleolithic Age, first we need to understand what is the meaning of this phrase. The word Paleolithic has come from two Greek words. So we can split the word Paleolithic into two parts, Paleo and Lithic. Paleo means old, Haleya, and Lithic means stone, Shile. Therefore, the meaning of the word Paleolithic is old stone age. This is a very important 1 marks question. When do we find the Paleolithic age in India? It is estimated that Paleolithic age was active in India somewhere around 40,000 BCE to 10,000 BCE. BCE stands for before Common Era. Earlier it was told as BC, before Christ, but now we omit the word before Christ and rather we replace this word with before Common Era. So I think now we have understood the meaning of Paleolithic. Paleolithic, old stone age. So what was man doing in this particular age? The man in this particular age was once again leading a primitive life, that is, he was a nomad. He was wandering from place to place and his purpose of life was hunting and food gathering. And for this purpose, what did he do? He mainly started using stones for the purpose of hunting. What kind of stones did he use? Did he use different kinds of stones? No. The prehistoric man during Paleolithic age used one definite kind of stone called as quartzite. So I have put a slide where you have the picture of quartzite. And it is told to be one of the hardest stones. There are so many hardest stones, but this is also one among the hardest stones. As the man in this period used quartzite, he was called quartzite men. Who was called quartzite men? Paleolithic man was called as quartzite men. What kind of stone was this? The man during this stage did not give any shape to the stones he was using. He used it as it was. It was neither polished nor chopped, rather they were rough. He used it as it was, so it was a large stone. So this was the lifestyle of the man who lived during Paleolithic age. So today in India, which are the places where we can find the evidence of Paleolithic age? There are so many states, out of which few places are very important. So the question would be asked like this: Name the Paleolithic sites in India. And it is important that you remember at least 4 to 5 places pertaining to each stone age. So here are the names of the sites which still has the evidence of the Paleolithic age. Which are those? One is Sohan River Valley. It is in present day Pakistan. And after that we have Narmada and Tungabhadra Valley. And the third important place is Chota Nagpur, which is in present day Madhya Pradesh. After that you have it in a place called as Tirunelveli, which is in Tamil Nadu. And in Karnataka you can find a Paleolithic site in a place called as Lingasuguru, which is in Raichur district. And apart from that we also find in Ghataprabha river basin, which is in the modern day Belgaum. So these are the sites in Karnataka and other states of India where you can see the evidence of Paleolithic tools and implements. So how were these implements? How did it look like? It looked more like hand axe and also choppers, clavers, flakes, etc. But how did they appear? They appeared blunt and rough. So this is regarding Paleolithic age. I am sure you have understood the meaning and how different was this and the name of the sites. Now students, we will move on to the next age, that is Mesolithic period. And this was also a part of Stone Age culture, as I have mentioned earlier. It is estimated that this culture was active in India somewhere around 10,000 BCE to 8,000 BCE. So from 10,000 to 8,000 BCE, this particular age was active in India. And now we shall look at the meaning of the word Mesolithic. The word Mesolithic has been derived from two Greek root words. They are Meso and Lithic. Meso means middle, Madhyada, and Lithic means stone, Shile. Therefore, the meaning of Mesolithic is Middle Stone Age. This is also called as an intervening period. Why do we call it as an intervening period? Because this age falls in between Paleolithic and Neolithic. It falls somewhere in between. That is why we call it as intervening period. How is this period different from Paleolithic? When we come to Mesolithic period, one thing continues, that is, man was still using quartzite stone, and along with this he also started using another kind of stone, what we called as agate. So along with this he also used agate. And remember students, man also used wood because that would help him to hold the stone. So wood was also used. At the same time, quartzite and agate was made use of. So this is regarding the meaning and the kind of stone the man who lived during Mesolithic period used. Now we shall get little more information regarding Mesolithic period. So students, when we come to Mesolithic period, we find that this period was slightly different from Paleolithic. In what feature was this period different from Paleolithic? The one thing what we notice here is, when we come to this period, the kind of stone implements what man used, it was different. Now the implements were little smaller in size. They were given different shapes. At the same time, they were lighter and sharper. So this is the very important feature of Mesolithic age. Where today in India we come across the sites belonging to Mesolithic period. Some of the important sites pertaining to Mesolithic period are as follows. One is Ajmer, that is in Rajasthan. After that, Sabarmati Basin, which is in Gujarat, Sanganakallu and Brahmagiri in Karnataka. So these are the few examples of Mesolithic site in India. And when we come to Mesolithic age, one I have told you that there was a change in the kind of stone implement man was using. At the same time, there is also a very revolutionary change. That is, by now, man knows the use of fire. And with the use of fire, it is understood that man started preparing his own food. And he also used clay pots for the purpose of cooking. And in many sites, we come across the pieces of pots, the clay pots, which gives us the evidence that man by now had come across the use of fire. And during this time, we also get few examples of what man did with the dead bodies. The people who were dead, what did the man do? It was seen that the man cremated or buried the dead. So this is regarding Mesolithic period. Now we shall go to the last Stone Age culture, what we call as Neolithic age. The word Neolithic has come once again from Greek root neo and lithic. Neo means new and lithic means stone. Therefore, the meaning of Neolithic is new stone age. So, during which period was this culture active in India? This culture was active in India somewhere in between 8000 BCE to 4000 BCE. So, this is estimated to be the Neolithic age in India. And a very big question, why do we call this period a Neolithic age? Yeah, New Stone Age, why do we call it so? It is because of two reasons, my dear students. What is the first reason? The first reason is when we come to Neolithic period, we find a drastic change in the kind of implement what man used. Now the man used polished, sharp stone implements which were very sharp and effective. This is the one reason. The second reason why we call it as a Neolithic age is because for the first time the concept of agriculture comes into the frame. So man started agriculture. With this, it is understood he started a settled life. So now you can make sense how in every phase man started to evolve from a nomad to now to a settled set of society or a life. And he also started to cook his own food. So we can find a drastic change in his lifestyle. So before I get into the lifestyle of the people who lived during Neolithic period, before I would tell you the names of the sites in India which gives us the evidence of Neolithic man. The sites are as follows: Salem and Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu, Hyderabad in the present day Telangana state, Kurnool which is in Andhra Pradesh, Maski and Brahmagiri in Karnataka. I have given you the slide, you can look at the picture and please make a note of it because it is a very important question as far as exam is concerned. So these are some of the sites which has given us the evidence of a Neolithic presence in India. So now students, moving ahead, How was the lifestyle of Neolithic man? Was he still in his primitive stage? No. When we come to Neolithic period, the life of man had a drastic change. One is, he had given up his nomadic life. He was now settled in one particular place. He started agriculture. He started cooking. He also started domesticating the animals. So cow, sheep, goat were the initial animals which were domesticated by him. He lived in caves, and during his leisure period he also started painting on the walls of the caves. So the next slide, you can find an animated slide which gives you an idea of how the nomadic man was. Definitely, he did not have modern clothes. In order to protect his body from cold winds, from rays of sun, he started covering himself with leaves, skin of the animals and bark of trees. But nevertheless, students, we find a drastic change in the life of the Neolithic man. Apart from this, I told you that the man had completely changed by now. He also started decorating himself. That is, he was fond of ornaments. These are not the modern day gold or diamonds. The man then used ornaments which were made up of stones, beads, pieces of bones, and out of which he made beads, rings, armlets, etc. to decorate himself. And this man used both vegetarian food as well as non-vegetarian food, and he also extensively used the dairy products or the milk products, what we call. So this is the lifestyle of a Neolithic man. And one more important concept what we see here is, for the first time to come across man worshipping whom? Not the Vedic gods, but he was worshipping the ancestors and the spirits. And the dead were buried. So this was the common pattern what we find in the previous Stone Age culture as well. So this is regarding Neolithic age. So students, with this we end the first part of a Stone Age culture, where we came across Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Now we shall move ahead and concentrate on the second division of prehistoric period, which is Metal Age. In Metal Age, we can further see three kinds of ages in which man evolved. One is the Copper Age, second is the Bronze Age, and the third one is Iron Age. But one thing, students, you will have to remember, when man entered Metal Age, he did not give up using stone implements. He did use stone implements, he did use wood, but at the same time he started using metal. And when we study about the metal, the first metal we come across is copper. And this age is called as Chalcolithic age. Chalco in Greek means copper. So it is called as Chalcolithic age. So it is told to be the metal used by the man when he just entered the Metal Age. So today, how do we know that man used copper metals? It is because during excavation, few copper implements were discovered which gave us the clue that copper was in use. And with copper, man started to make weapons, and remember, it was for the purpose of agriculture and also for the purpose of hunting. So we can find the spades, the hand axe which he used for the purpose of hunting. After Copper Age, we come to the next age, what is Bronze Age, and I have given you a slide which tells how the bronze was prepared. This age too is much evident when we found some of the implements pertaining to bronze, which gives us the lot of information that yes, bronze was in practice. But remember, in India we do not have something called as bronze culture, because it was not prevalent for a very long time, because very soon all this was overtaken by iron. So there are examples of bronze implements which was used by the people, but a revolution happened with the coming of Iron Age. So students, now coming to the third kind of metal age, that is Iron Age. Iron is told to be one of the outstanding discoveries of man, because it overtakes almost all the other metals. And the other reason is this ore was available in plenty. This ore was definitely not sophisticated. It would take up any shape that easily. That's why there was a big boom for the iron. And it is very happy to say that South India had already entered into Iron Age, when in North India people were still belonging to Neolithic period. So South India had already entered into Iron Age, and iron was used for different purposes. May it be for the purpose of hunting, may it be for the purpose of agriculture. And even today we can see the use of iron maybe in our surroundings, that many equipments are made out of iron. So that says the kind of revolution it brought in the life of people during the Metal Age. So students, in English there is a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. So every time man felt that he needs something extra or something advanced to keep inventions going, and as he felt the need, he went on inventing new things. And here also we see that in every phase man was dynamic. He was showing all the progressive nature. It could be seen in his life the kind of implements he used, and this led for invention, and that is how man later on entered maybe to modern and then today to the scientific era, whatever we call. So with this students, we end today's chapter. So once again to summarize, today I took up chapter number 2, that is prehistoric period. This period is also called as Stone Age and Metal Age culture. Prehistoric period is a period or the time in history where there are no written records or resources, and at this point we have to depend completely on the stone and other implements which helps us to reconstruct the past. Prehistoric period is further divided into two, that is the Stone Age culture and the Metal Age. In Stone Age we further see three ages: Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Paleolithic means Old Stone Age, Mesolithic means Middle Stone Age and Neolithic means New Stone Age. And you will also have to remember the sites pertaining to each period. After that we found the Metal Age, where we see the use of copper. We also have the traces of people using gold, but as gold was not found in large number, man had to give up with the use of gold, and later on he shifted into copper, bronze and then finally to iron. And South India had already reached to the iron stage, that is iron metal was used initially by South Indian people or the people who lived during this time. So we also looked at the other kind of changes what brought in the life of people during this period. So with this we end the chapter. Please make a note of all the important points which I have underlined especially in the slide, and meet you all in the next classes. Thank you students.